Through the fire and the rain, our family remains strong. We are a circle, unbroken and true. Hand in hand, we will see every trial through.
Hi, everybody. I truly hope that you had an amazing time for our Thanksgiving holiday full of love and celebration. It was a very great time spending with family and just embracing all the love, all the blessings, and the season of giving and sharing. The last time I shared a video with you guys, it was centered around all that joy, all that love, all that togetherness, and our family traditions that we like to do for Thanksgiving. Now, that was awesome. That was great. Had a great time. But I just want to say that we have an extra amount of gratefulness and amount of thankfulness. So I'm going to get into it and just tell you how we have survived 2025. Okay, so I'll start with the beginning. So this year was definitely a year that came in like a lion for us. I would say that, it was one of those like rocky times where our world was going through a shift. Our economy was going through a shift, and we were directly impacted by that. For the many that don't know, we shared our journey with my husband's cancer battle, and of course, um, with that comes a lot of need for care. So, he was directly impacted by the changes and all of the ways that people were not able to get like the medications they needed, and impacting grants and anything that was cancer related. So we had that whole burden of trying to figure out when he would get his care. So I'm sure you can imagine how stressful that was, because he depended on his life saving medications. So we stayed prayerful. We kept the hope that there would be a breakthrough, and that he would get the necessary medications that he needed for his care. So we ended up getting good news after like a month and a half with him not receiving the necessary medications for his treatment. And that phone call was magical, telling us that, he was approved for getting his meds again. And, that I can honestly say that was like a burden lifted off our shoulder, because you don't know if things are going to work out in your favor. And I'll just say God worked it out, and he was able to get his meds. And that was like the beginning of a lot of other triumphs that we had to deal with. So let me tell y'all what ended up happening a month later. Well, after we went through that whole experience, we were sitting in our home. It was about 9 in the evening. Heard this big old boom, literally shook our whole house. literally shook our whole house. And we had no idea what it was, because I know, like, not too far from us, we have like railroad stations and things of that nature. And we thought maybe, maybe a transformer blew or something. And it come to find out that a neighboring staple in our community, a big old factory, had literally exploded. The impact was so strong that we felt it in our home. And because we live fairly close to it, we had embers flying over in our yard, on our back deck. It was just like everywhere. So we had to end up evacuating, not knowing that if, the embers were too high or too close to our home, that it would like burn our house down. So that was scary, having to leave our home for a few days, not knowing what we would come back to. We did ended up with a lot of smoke damage and stuff in our home. And you know what? I was just so thankful and grateful that we still had a house to come back to. The smoke damage was very minimal. It wasn't serious enough that we needed to like stay out of our home for a long time. So that was just a testament to God's favor, to God's grace. So we do not take anything for granted. We do not take anything for granted. And we take each blessing as it comes, and always thankful. So the next thing that happened that we survived in 2025 was literally recently. Right after we had this amazing celebration with family, full of love and giving for Thanksgiving, we were traveling back home on the road, pretty much all highway driving, about 2 hours, close to 2 hours of driving. We're having a good time. Me and my husband were laughing and talking. It's really late. It's in the early hours of the morning, but we're both awake. We're both alert, not thinking anything of our travels. Just want to get home. Soon as we get off of the highway, my husband starts complaining of discomfort, saying that he's not feeling well, grabbing his chest with that, oh my God, to follow, and literally just stopped in the middle of the road and like passed out unresponsibly. That was so traumatizing. I had to stop the car, put it in park, and jump out and run strictly to my husband's aid. When I say I have never ever been so scared or afraid of anything in my life, that was very traumatic. My husband ended up in the hospital for about 6 days. Nobody knew, only a few people knew what happened to us on our travels back home. He was recovering, and I'm just so thankful and grateful because God kept us. He spared us. We could have been on that highway. He could not have been able to stop and put his foot on the brake. Anything could have happened. I've tossed and turned with the possibilities, and God spared our life, and he really showed a lot of favor over us. So I'm here to say that God is good. God is merciful. And we are a living testimony to when God has a blessing with your name on it. So stay prayerful, stay thankful, stay grateful, because blessings comes in all shapes and sizes and all kinds of ways. And I want to give a special shout out to Friends of Super Channels. I appreciate you. I appreciate all your support and concern that you showed to me and my family. So I look forward to coming to you with the next video. Until then, happy holidays, everybody.
Through the fire and the rain, our family remains strong. We are a circle unbroken and true. Hand in hand, we will see every trial through. This holiday season brings the greatest gift. Love that anchors us throughout any